In this video, I'll be looking at 6 abandoned places posted to the abandoned subreddit. As we know, abandoned places could be anything from a house, village, town, hospital, anything that urban explorers love to look at. Let's have a look and see what was posted. In this first one, posted to the abandoned section of Reddit, the OP has posted one photo, and it's basically what he's stated in the comments, an abandoned mansion of old money. Let's have a look at this photo as it is very interesting to see what was left behind. So as you can see, the furniture is obviously in immaculate condition given that it is abandoned. Um, Pictures on the wall, things under glass. So zoom in, very, very cool. I want to say almost Victorian era, um, you know, furniture, if you will. And the statues, just immaculate. Very interesting. As you can see off the side, there's more, I guess, decay, but it still just boggles the mind that someone would abandon something so cool. As you can see on the floor, there is definitely debris showing its age. Again, so interesting the fact that someone would just leave all of this stuff here. That chandelier is also definitely cool. Let me know how you feel about this one in the comments. And on to the next. This one posts to the abandoned section of the OP Jedi Mind Trick. Basically states that he came across a rest stop in the Mojave National Preserve. He says he passed this place on a drive and stopped to get some pictures. Looks to have been a gas station and restaurant of some kind. Let's have a look. As you can see, we have the outside, clearly, you know, uh, laden with graffiti and overrun by time in the sense that it's falling apart. Pretty cool urban decay nonetheless. You know, as you can see, it definitely looks like to have been a gas station of some kind. Um, Maybe at some point once the gas station left, I'm guessing potentially maybe a gang hideout or clubhouse from that. I don't know. So you can definitely see the interior is dingy, dirty, and maybe used as some sort of rest stop or hideout. Who knows? Low gas eat. I'm guessing that's the OP's car. The fact that he managed to get up on the roof of the other building is pretty brave. Just lots and lots of graffiti. You can definitely a truck trailer just completely abandoned and possibly burned out. That's burnt for sure, or dismantled and sold for scrap. Again, it's I guess the test of time and all of that that nothing is forever. It's another one. Cool pictures nonetheless. You know, the engine, or what's left of it anyway. A trailer of some kind, maybe I don't know, train. I don't know. Yeah, a train, like a train car. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm guessing yeah, someone used it for a house or something. Who knows? Definitely to get out of the elements at some point. Make art. That's cool. Yeah, nope. So let me know how you feel about this in the comments section and on to the next. This next one posts to the abandoned section of the OP Frog quadruple zero. Took some photos of an abandoned caboose turned into what was left of a house in Colorado. Let's have a look. So here we have the outside of the caboose, seemingly sitting on what's left of a rail or, a rail that was picked up and placed there for the caboose. I mean, either way, even if it wasn't converted to a house, as the OP states, It's still a cool find out in the middle of nowhere. Given how remote it is, clearly by the photos, still cool. Here we have the inside. You can clearly see, yeah, it was converted, although unfortunately it looks like it's been taken back by time, or falling apart, to say the least. You know, it's still cool that someone used this as a house. I mean, as people say, the tiny home movement, I guess, or tiny house movement, I guess before its time. An old rotary phone. It's pretty cool. It's a shame that obviously it couldn't be kept up. I mean, I'm sure someone could probably find this and take it and do a complete repair job on it. Be expensive, but still cool nonetheless. You know, the lamp, obviously, birds making that home. Hmm, interesting, interesting. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this one in the comments, and on to the next. In this next one, posted to the abandoned section of Reddit, the OP states that this was a huge abandoned hospital with a ringing payphone. So you also caption it, while I was here wandering at around 3 to 4 a.m., the payphone, as we'll see on the fourth picture, just randomly starts ringing. He goes, no idea who or what was calling. But he states he did not pick it up, which is fair enough, but you wouldn't. It's obviously, as people in the comment section have said, it's probably just a scam caller trying to figure out active numbers. Anyway, let's have a look and see what was captured. So here we go, the first picture. It's always interesting when you see people doing, exploring abandoned hospitals, the amount of equipment that gets left behind, even especially when there's still electricity going on, because obviously that light is turned on. You know, it's always surreal when you think about these newly abandoned hospitals, because some of this equipment looks fairly newish. You know, like obviously that picture shows that it is abandoned. Still, it's yeah, always interesting. The fact that they like X-ray equipment, X-rays going on. This was clearly an examination room. That's the blood pressure cuff and or thingy. You know, it's yeah, always just interesting when you see these things. The fact that they don't bother to take any of the equipment, and then here's said payphone that the OP says was ringing. You know, yeah, I don't know about you, but I would be very creeped out. Like, I would be tempted to answer it solely just to see what's said. Obviously, I wouldn't say anything because obviously, if you're there, you're there illegally. But still, interesting nonetheless. Biohazard stuff. Yeah, cubicles. I mean, yeah. Computer monitors, flat screen computer monitors. That obviously tells you recently that it was abandoned. And the fact that there's lights. Again, a dental chair. The fact that they left all of this stuff going on. Maybe a dental. I don't know. Could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dentist chair, because that's yeah, dental, because that's a spit basin. And then whatever this is, I'm guessing. I don't know. A printer of some kind, maybe. I don't. Yeah. So, what do you think about abandoned hospitals? Let me know how you feel about this one in the comments. And on to the next. In this next one, posted to the abandoned section of Reddit, the OP MIVIKK as opposed to this abandoned hotel. They've captioned it. This abandoned hotel complex has three buildings. One for dining, one for accommodation, and the third used to be a nightclub. Even though I visited during the day, the nightclub looked so eerie and dark that I didn't dare go inside. Probably fair enough. Let's have a look and see what he has posted. So as you can see, it looks like this is a dining hall, or like a restaurant, if you will. Lots of gold or maybe gold overlay. I think that's distinct Chinese. Yeah, Chinese hotel. The OP really didn't say where this hotel was located, so could be anywhere in China, potentially, or anywhere that's just Chinese themed. Uh, Stairwell, if you will. You can just look at that decay. Always interesting. Probably I would say 70s or 80s decor. Yeah, again, Chinese. I'm guessing somewhere in China, given all the Chinese lettering. Yeah, it's definitely has that distinct 70s or 80s look to it, where they really didn't know what to do with it, so they just did any old thing. A kitchen, you know, no idea what this is. Probably laundry. I would say laundry or a kitchen, maybe. Unfortunately, there's nothing there to tell us what it is. You can definitely see overgrownness from the plants going up the flagpoles. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's always interesting when you see the plants overgrowing, reclaiming stuff to time. Yeah. If anyone speaks Chinese and can translate this, maybe help us out on what this hotel is or where it's located. Or I should say what it was anyway. A big open sort of check-in area. I guess you expect that with really any hotel. Elevators and all that paper just strewn everywhere. Another view of the uh, Grand Hall entry area. Someone's written SOS, help. Pretty funny, pretty cheeky. That's an interesting chandelier. Pretty cool. Again, that sort of distinct Chinese feel to the hotel, given it is Chinese. Yeah, very. And then the last picture, we can see uh, some sort of tapestry. Obviously, half it's gone. No smoking sign. Still pretty cool nonetheless. Let me know how you feel about this one in the comments. And if someone speaks Chinese, let me know if you could tell me what the name of this hotel was, just out of curiosity. And on to the next. In this last one, the OP Jamie Robb 1999 has posted what they've said is an abandoned rehab clinic. People in the comments have said, based on these pictures, this could have been a very, very expensive rehab clinic, maybe upwards of $90,000 a month. Some people have also said that they suspect this was probably for drug rehab, given the fact that these pools um, that we're about to see don't appear to be something you would have someone after a serious operation climbing in and out of. Let's have a look. So as we can see, the first picture is of several pools, and as I said, they don't appear to be pools you would have someone climbing in and out of after they have had a serious operation for like knee, leg, hips, those sorts of things. So it's probably more drug rehab clinic. Still cool nonetheless. Here's the outside. I mean, look, that definitely looks expensive, or was expensive given, the time. Because it feels to me like one of these clinics where you get people going, they get fresh air with chefs, all of those, the bells and whistles that you would expect for 90 grand for 30 days. I'm not saying this one was 90 grand for 30 days. That's just what someone in the comments said this has the feel of. Here's another view of the pools. I mean, yeah, look at that. This to me screams expensive. I mean, with lounge, pool deck chairs, you're definitely not here recovering from, marijuana or, heroin. You're here when you've been addicted to heavy opiates and need to get off it. A hallway, yeah. Again, another photo. Yeah, like I said, this just screams expensive and opulent. Let me know how you feel about this one in the comments. Until next time, future archaeology.